first speaker is Tom Trento. As I don't know if anybody knows who Tom is, but I've known him for quite some while, been following him on his radio show. He is now the director of the United West. He is also one of our sponsors. Thanks to him and his team for the banner and Budweiser. Tom Trento, come on up.
Yeah, Belinda B. Give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing individual, and her team. Her team is rocking and rolling. They put this thing together very, very quickly, and they had a fight with some of the people that live in these buildings around here to get that done. It seems like that's happening more and more to the patriots here in America. Hey, B, I see a few hog-riding, flag-waving, noise-making U.S. American patriots out there. Do not ever forget, there's about 200 countries in this world. About half of them are rat holes. The other half, But everybody wants to come to this ground right here. This is the U.S. of A., the absolute best country on the face of the earth, ladies and gentlemen. USA! 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 Hey, B, I see something else out there. I see a good group of old military veterans. All veterans, raise your hand, please. Give these people a round of applause. I also see right over there a building that is disgracing the veterans in the United States of America. Let's let that building right down that street hear us. Vets, 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 vets. Yes, to the Veterans Administration. Do not disgrace a man or woman when they take that walk up and sign that document to commit themselves to defend the piece of paper that's in the building right over there, the U.S. Constitution. Do not disgrace those individuals that have placed a bond with this great country. I also see that 13 years ago right now, some metal airplanes crashed into concrete buildings, and American blood flowed in our streets. I also see that individuals rose to that occasion on that hallowed day 13 years ago, and you're going to hear from one of them right after me. I also see that the individuals that perpetrated that crime against humanity had something in common. They followed Muhammad of the Islamic faith. If I cannot stand between that building there and that monument behind me and speak critically of a political system that is destructive to the world, to mankind, recognizing in a building over there, the National Archives, that houses the treasures of what we are, declaring it and constituting it. If I cannot criticize that political system without somebody, some press, somewhere, calling me a hater, then we have lost one of the greatest freedoms on the face of the earth, ladies and gentlemen. The enemy is Islamic Jihad. The man in that building over there cannot get himself to call the enemy by the name. And I don't care how many planes you launch, how many boots on the ground, until the commander-in-chief can name the enemy, we cannot win this war. It's that simple. I also see that there's a distinction, particularly as a Christian, between an individual who is a Muslim and an individual who's following the doctrine of Muhammad. to kill, to take a sword, slice the head off of someone, whether it's a child or a journalist. These guys are pretty brave. They handcuff journalists and then cut their head off. Those are brave warriors that were fighting.
Hide their faces.
Then they hide their faces. I also recognize that until this country and the individual in that building and many of the individuals in that building find the balls to deal with the threat as it is, we are not going to solve this problem, ladies and gentlemen. I also see that. This is a hallowed day, to be sure, an important day, to be sure, and it's great to see all of you folks out there. I realize that the battle is a large one. We understand that, and it's a great one. And it's not going to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's the height of military foolishness to tell your enemy, well, we have a 2 or 3 year plan. The plan ought to be, we're going to destroy you and kill you, and we're going to do it when we want to do it, on our time, and we're coming in the night, in the day, whenever it's going to happen. And that's the way it's going to be. But not with this politically correct individual in that house over there. So we got to straighten that out. But I also see that the solution to the problem in that building and the solution to the problem in this building over here resides with this group right here. We, the people of the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. This country fears men and women when they mount up, fire up, and take off. When that rolling thunder comes into town, people worry, and for good cause they ought to worry. They ought to worry not because there's a perpetration of evil, but there's justice coming its way. There's men and women who are not confused by the big words of that building or by the slickness of this building, but are plain, simple folk, like all of us here, who understand black and white. That's evil, this is good, they get destroyed, we win. It's that simple. And you know what? We got a couple of problems. Not only can the leaders there and over there not understand the threat doctrine, and you can't win a war if you don't understand the threat doctrine, which is Islam is the core of the problem we're fighting. All the jihadis root their killing and their theology and their geopolitics in Mohammed, in Islam. And I make a distinction between a Muslim who may or may not be guilty, and as Christians we have to love individuals. But we can hate the ideology, hate the system, perpetrate not vengeance but justice swiftly and deadly, and in a medieval fashion if we have to. That's consistent with the book I read called the Bible. The other problem we have, and you'll hear from one of the speakers talk about this, is that we spend millions of dollars training our war fighters. Millions of dollars, particularly the top tier guys, the D-boys, SEAL Team 6, Force Recon, these kind of guys, millions of dollars training them. And then those guys over there and that guy over there buys a $5 roll of duct tape, duct tapes their hands together, duct tapes their eyes together, and says, go fight the enemy now in a way in which you can't possibly beat them. We have a problem with the rules of engagement, and many good people are dying because of that, and we the people have to change that situation. I think today ought to serve as a launching pad to more consolidation and organization of rolling thunder, bringing justice to the streets and halls of America. It's been going on for quite a while, but we have to do it in a more sophisticated and a larger fashion. You with me on that? You guys with me on that? Amen. 13 years ago today, a few airplanes were flying around. 3 of them went down. The 4th one was all over the place. The brave men and women on Flight 93 realized that they're probably going to die. Think about that for a moment. You're in an airplane, a concealed little tube. You got a couple of phone calls. You know the chances of getting out of this are none. You could pray, that's good. You could collapse and faint from the reality and the seriousness of the situation. That's okay. But a few people, a few men, a few women rose to the occasion and said, though I may die, I die fighting. One of those individuals is Todd Beamer. He died on September 11th, 2001, Florida boy. April of 2006, Daniel Cantor Woltz was having lunch with his dad, my friend Tuli Woltz, in Tel Aviv. And he got blown up by a suicide bomber, died 21 days later. And then on August 6, 2011, a dear son of our friends, Karen and Billy Vaughn, died in Afghanistan, extortion 17, Aaron Vaughn. 3 men died by the same exact ideology, Islamic Jihad. These men, and this woman you're going to hear, lost their sons to this evil, evil force. But they went out, 2 in particular, fighting. Folks, we need to win this military battle, and it's also a cultural battle. We need to argue that American jurisprudence, American democracy, is indeed the best thing in the world, and may God bless you as you fire up your bikes, take off from here, changed people because of spending a few moments today with like-minded patriots. May God bless all of you.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what's so bright?